I had a thought the other day that gives me tremendous hope, and I think it should give all of my viewers a tremendous amount of hope, right? So it's going to sound like a tangent, but like YouTube is the new public square or the new town square. Like I can't think of another website that you could say this is illustrative of where a diverse, opinions are shared and received and followed. Okay. Therefore, if there is a mainstream opinion that people are voicing out there, we should expect to find someone voicing it on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah.
So like if no one was a vegan, then there's probably not going to be a vegan channel. If there are very prominent vegan channels, then that's a sign that there are prominent groups of vegans, okay? Here's what gave me a lot of hope. If you think of the issues that you might say leftist heretical Catholics are trying to push, let's think of them. What would they be? Homosexual marriage, women priests. I'm actually asking you to help me.
Oh. Those were the two I was going to say.
Those are the two big ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe a movement to like bring back the old 70s hymns or to not have, not that anyone would phrase it like this if they held to this belief, but to not have beautiful liturgies, like to actually make it more loosey-goosey or like, I don't know, fill in the blank. Let us know in the comment section. Like what is an opinion that you think people are trying to bring back? Yeah, like contraception.
Okay.
That would be another one. All right. So like, fair enough. Can you name, I'm going to ask you who are watching and you, because I know you're not Catholic, but I can't think of a prominent YouTube channel that's pushing any of this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I can't even think of a YouTube channel that's pushing it. Like you hear about it, right? German bishops, Karen from the parish council. Like you hear about it, but can you name me one? Like I know if you're watching right now and you lean more traditional, you might take issue with me or Trent or other people, and you might think we're whatever. But like, I'm against all that. And anyone, even I think more that you would consider more liberal Catholic channels. Okay, American Magazine has 70,000 views. But is it, okay, all right, well, there you go. Maybe I just disproved myself. But I don't know if American Magazine is pushing for homosexual marriage. Maybe they're doing it quietly. Maybe some of them who work for them believe it. I don't know. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, but I mean, you have that even within, like, I think there's certain Orthodox publications. I think one's called The Wheel or something, where it's the same thing, where there's kind of like that undercurrent, but it's definitely not. It's not the prominent view.
Yeah, I mean, you have isolated. I said it earlier. You have German bishops who are heretics. It seems to me, from what I'm hearing, I don't want to make a judgment, but you have that. I understand you have that, but like, where is the groundswell of liberal Catholic YouTube channels that are overtaking the world? That should give us tremendous hope, I think, because I know that there are Catholic YouTubers who wouldn't like me or what I'm doing, or they would think that I'm whatever. But it's like the differences are so small, and that gives me great hope. Like I don't know anybody who's okay. It's not that I don't know anybody. I mean, you've got people like Father James Martin. Like you have these outliers, but what I'm trying to say is, you don't have like a cult following. That's the wrong word. You don't have this huge movement. Like think of Taylor Marshall. Like whatever you think of him and some of the things he says or how he says them or what he put, whatever. He's clearly a traditional Catholic, and he's someone who I'm sure I would have 99% in common with, or 98, 97, who knows. Very, very, a lot in common with. People are excited about him. And you might say, well, they're only excited because they're angry. And that might be true, but what are they angry about? Well, they're angry about the confusion and the liberalism and things like this. So again, I just think that is just a big sign of hope.
Yeah. I don't know if this is worth breaking up or also kind of a tangent or something, but what came to mind as you were saying that was like thinking, like I think those of us who are more traditional think that the other voices are a lot louder or bigger or made up of a larger population of people than they actually are, which is why instances and things like and I don't want to go too far into like social commentary, I guess, but you see like corporations like Disney losing a ton of money. And it's like, okay, where are all the people that we thought supported going down that path? Maybe there's not as many of them as we thought. Maybe we were just made to believe that there are. And I think that happens in the church as well. On anything. And it could be, like even like the conversation between Catholics and Orthodox, the issue of contraception, divorce, and remarriage. They're big issues. They're problematic issues. And I think a lot of people say, well, look, Orthodoxy teaches contraception. And it's like, no, Orthodoxy doesn't teach contraception. And I think whereas there might be some issues there, whereas I personally I think Catholicism's right on these issues, the vast majority of Orthodox clergy and bishops don't think that, so it's like taking the exception and making it the rule all over the place. I mean, everywhere we look, we see one exception and we generalize and say everybody's like that, I don't know.
Another thing that I'm really grateful for is, this is Cardinal Pell, I asked for his intercession. Just got to pray at his tomb in Sydney. He was maligned, spat upon, wrongly accused, and convicted of crimes he never committed. He was eventually vindicated by the High Court in Australia when all 7 judges said he was not guilty, but he was in solitary confinement for a large amount of time. He wrote these beautiful prison journals that I'm making my way through now, and I think of him as a sort of spiritual father and ask his paternal blessing and prayers for this little apostolate. But I saw a program from the 80s on YouTube where he was put in juxtaposition to this like Jesuit, I don't know, like dissenter, okay? And they were arguing about contraception, and Pell was just a faithful Catholic, which is why he was so hated in Australia. But one thing I realized is like, with all deference and respect to Cardinal Pell, while he held the correct opinion, I would say that the way he communicated it I didn't find it terribly helpful at convincing those who didn't yet believe it. But the Lord has raised up kind of people who are able. I think of Christopher West, I think of Jason Everett, I think of Scott Hahn. You think of these people who are now able to articulate the church's position in a way that not even faithful clerics really were able to do. Some, of course, were. But even faithful clerics weren't the best at it. It's like the Lord raises up these people, and now, I don't know, man, I just feel like the arguments against contraception, the arguments against cohabitation, the argument, all this are so well articulated that you even have people like Jordan Peterson now.
Yeah.
In that book, Beyond Order, he makes an argument against cohabitation. That's the argument that good Catholics have been making. He just did an episode about what the pill does to a woman's brain when she's on it, So it's beautiful to see the Lord raising up people for a time such as this. So there's a lot of confusion, and we've just talked about it. We've talked about the fruits of confusion in our own hearts, and we feel kind of pulled towards this or that, but there's also just tremendous amount of good happening.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys about my new favorite app. It's called Ascension, and it's by Ascension Press. This is the #1 Bible study app, in my opinion, and you can go to ascensionpress.com/Fradd. Go there, and so that way they know that we sent you. It is absolutely fantastic. It has the entire Bible there, very well laid out. The whole Bible is read to you by Father Mike Schmitz, or just sections of the Bible. It has the catechism there. It's cross-referenced absolutely beautifully. It's really actually quite difficult to explain to you how good this is. Just download it and check it out for yourself. It even has over 1,600 frequently asked questions about Scripture. So if you go to Genesis 1, you might have a question about evolution. Well, there's a drop down right there. You can read an article that'll help you understand it. I went through it with the guys at Ascension the other day, and my jaw was just, it was dropped. It was absolutely amazing. It's had tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. Again, go to ascensionpress.com/Fradd. It also has all of their amazing Bible studies. So I remember back in the day, I had a big DVD case of Jeff Caven's Bible studies. Well, it's all there on the app. So go download it right now. Please go to ascensionpress.com/Fradd.